This demonstration shows creating, managing, and using encryption keys with GDC. First, we need to authenticate with the GDC cluster. Logging in as my user. Once our user's logged in, we're going to establish a couple of environment variables which will make it easier to go through this demonstration. First environment variable we're going to set is the cluster we're connecting to. We're connecting to the admin cluster for this organization. Next, we're specifying our kubeconfig file that we're going to be saving our credentials to. Then we're getting the credentials to the GDC cluster for the organization. Here we're listing out the projects that are in this organization, and then we are going to select the backend project. I'm also setting another environment variable for the username. This is just the first part of the username. It doesn't include the @domain portion. Before we can do anything else, we need to check the roles that are associated with this user. This account has the KMS admin, KMS creator, and KMS developer roles that are required for this demonstration. The key is going to be called Symmetric key 1. We're then going to use a kube control command with some YAML. We're using the version 1 of the KMS API. We're creating an AEAD key, specifying our key name, specifying our project, and then specifying AES256 as the algorithm. Here we see our key has been created. To view the key that is in this project, we can use the kube control, kube config, specify the AEAD key, and then the key name and the project namespace. Here we see that the key is working. Next, I'm going to create a file with text that we can encrypt. Just catting some stuff out to a file, and then we can look at the contents of that file, and that's what our file looks like. That's what's going to be encrypted. We're going to set some additional environment variables. First, we're specifying our plaintext file, which is the file that we just created. Then we're going to specify a ciphertext file, which is where the output encrypted information will go. To encrypt the file, we're going to use the GDCloud KMS keys encrypt command. We're going to specify the namespace, including our project, the type of key that we're using, and the key name. Next, we specify the plaintext file, and then what we want the output ciphertext file name to be. Once we hit enter, it retrieves the key, retrieves the plaintext file, and then goes through the encryption process. Here we see we now have a plaintext file that is encrypted. Now that we have an encrypted ciphertext file, we can then decrypt it using our key. So we're going to specify a new file named text.out, which will be our output plaintext. Another GDCloud command, GDCloud KMS keys decrypt, specifying our namespace, including our project, again, the key type, the name of the key, specifying the ciphertext file, and then what we want the output plaintext file to be named. Now that we see that that's been decrypted, we can then go through and list the contents of our text.out file, and we see that we have decrypted the file. To list out the keys in a project, we can use kube control, specifying our Kubernetes configuration file, specifying the type of key that we want to retrieve, and specifying the namespace. Here we're listing out all of the names in the backend project. The key that we recently created is down here, the Symmetric key 1. In order to delete that key, we'll use another kube control command. This time we're specifying delete, specifying the type of key, specifying our key name, and then lastly specifying the project that that key is associated with. Now that we see that that key has been deleted, we can rerun our previous command to list out the keys in the project, and we see that the key is now gone.